Singapore's workplace fatalities reached a decade low, excluding 2020 when the pandemic disrupted projects. While there were 36 workplace fatalities last year, it also puts the Manpower Ministry 5 years ahead of its 2028 target of 1 fatality per 100,000 workers. Major injuries at the workplace is also at its lowest level in 10 years. There were 590 major workplace injuries last year. Well, that's nearly 16 per 100,000 workers. Well, 3 sectors accounted for about 60% of these accidents. The construction industry topping the list at 27%. The manufacturing sector is second at 25%. And the transportation and storage industry making up 9%. While there has been progress on the whole, a few subsectors recorded more incidents. Injuries in smaller scale construction work, such as renovations, rose from 98 in 2022 to 111 last year. And those from metalworking increased by 21 injuries to reach 61. Well, the Manpower Ministry says the results are encouraging, but there is still a long way to go. To ensure better safety in long term, it's shifting the focus from enforcement to engagement.
But what's more important is how we ensure that we sustain this, how we continue building a safety culture, because it's one thing to be able to reach certain heights, but you want to also maintain it and make sure that you are there on a sustained basis. So that's our goal currently. And what that means is really to engage employers and workers and helping them to understand their responsibilities, accountability.
By this December, manufacturers and suppliers are also legally bound to make sure more types of machinery are safe. The current list is expected to include new equipment that were introduced into the industry. MOM will reveal more details later this year. Some companies have stepped up to the plate. This transport and logistics company uses sorting robots in its warehouse. The firm says the move has reduced the physical strain on staff and improved efficiency by about 30%. During a visit to the company, Mr. Zaki was shown its retrofitted forklifts, which uses artificial intelligence to detect pedestrians nearby. An alarm will also sound if the operator is on the phone or falls asleep. Implementing such technology costs up to $5,000 per forklift. The firm says it is necessary.
The essence of the spending or the investment that we put in, we always have the staff behind us in mind, that anything that can aid in their safety, in their daily operations, that will be the critical investment that we need to make. The logistics industry is evolving every day. Technology is new things will come out. Definitely we will explore on that and see whether the investment is able to help us to move forward for the customer as well as for the stakeholders.
The Workplace Safety and Health Council brings together industry, unions, associations and workers. And for more on this topic, I'm joined now by Chairman Bakar Mohd Nor. Well, thanks so very much for joining us in our studio. So it's good news that the rates are coming down for workplace fatal injury and also the injury rate lowest in the past decade. So help us understand, what are some of the specific actions that were taken to sort of maintain this decrease, and how do we make sure that these efforts are sustained over time?
Okay, we have Otelli, thanks for having me here. I think before I start, I just want to say my appreciation to all the industry partners, union, and some of the council members for working very, very hard to achieve where we are today. It's important that we understand how are we going to navigate having such a statistic. If you look at the statistic itself, if you compare, there are only 4 others OECD countries that have this statistic. So while we have where we are now, much work to be done. And there are 3 areas that the council, together with some of the industry partners, are focusing on. One, we are looking at how do we strengthen our safety leadership. Then 2 is how do we enhance ownership. And of course, the third one is how do we able to leverage on technology. So these are the 3 areas that the industry will focus on, especially on the council, together with some of our partners. For example, case in point, on the technology side, as you must know that for the construction, we are introducing the video surveillance system. What the video surveillance system allow us to do is to be able to leverage on technology. That's one. Maybe we can put in AI capabilities, while we're doing that. Secondly, we allow us to shape certain behavior. So that is where we are focusing on. On the leadership, we are having more effort to be done on CEOs and the board of directors, because we believe at the end of the day, it's about leadership. So to strengthen our leadership and to allow people to participate, so that we are able to enhance the ownership and then to leverage on technology for us to do a bit more.
Yeah. Well, is it impractical to say that, can we ever achieve zero fatality rate? Or do we have to wait till, robots replace all humans?
I think that's a very good question. I think the effort is a continuous effort. Safety is a journey. That's where each and every one of us, safety is only strongest if each and every one of us take personal and collective responsibility of it. So the effort is for us to ensure that nobody injured, for us to ensure that worse, nobody died. So while doing that, the statistic is something that we measure to see whether some of the action that we are doing is in line with some of the progress that we want. So it is our vision. That's why we have Vision Zero, and we believe very strongly that if each and every one of us take personal and collective responsibility, we will be there.
And to what extent, when workers actually report unsafe practices, how important is that? And workers generally, they are aware of these, what's safe and what's not safe, right?
Yes. So you see, last year we launched Reporting Safe Life. It's not about reporting. There are two areas we wanted to achieve by implementing Reporting Safe Life. One, we want people to take ownership of safety, because when you talk about improvement, enhancement of safety, it's not only about individual, it's not about the enterprise, it's not about the industry, it's the whole of community. So in a Reporting Safe Life, what it does, it allows everyone to participate, actively involved in implementing safety. At least if you saw something unsafe, at least you saw something not safe, you flag it up. And that's one aspect. The other aspect, I think what we wanted to achieve by having Reporting Safe Life is to encourage the environment of trust within the workspace. Because you cannot be talking about life if there's no trust within the working environment, within the workforce. So in a Reporting Safe Life, what we do is we encourage both, for people to take ownership of safety, be part of it, actively involved, and then the second part is for them to be able to encourage the environment of trust within the working cycle. And that's why for this year, we decided to continue with this effort. While last year we said no Reporting Safe Life, so this year we decided to continue to Reporting Safe Life. I think what we need to do is to deepen this effort, to get a good foundation and founding, and foundation for us to enhance on this.
And clearly these measures have paid off, because we see the numbers coming down. So thank you so very much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
And I was just chatting with Mr. Bakar Mohd Nor. He's the chairman of the Workplace Safety and Health Council.